Hi, I'm Father Phil. This is not a spectacular setup, but I'm going to use what I've got here to show you how to create a choral sound on your computer using audio files from people who you know. There's 7 different steps. I'll take you through each of them in turn. The first step is to download the Audacity software, which is what the leader is going to use to put all of the music files together. Here's how you download Audacity. Go to your browser, search for audacityteam.org, and when that page opens, 3 quick clicks. 1 click on the word download, scroll down a little ways, 1 click here on the word download Audacity for Windows, Mac, or Linux. And then third, scroll past the ad in the middle of the screen, and here click on Windows Installer or Mac Installer. Take you through that one more time. So you're going to search for audacityteam.org. Quick click on the word download, 1 click. Scroll down a little bit. Right here, click here. Scroll down past the ad. And here's your Windows installer, Mac installer. I'm going to click the Mac installer. You can do whichever you need. It will download to the download folder in your computer. You can click there and safely install. The first thing you need to do is you need to choose your hymns. Get them ready, get them set, make sure you explore what's necessary for copyrights, and then get those hymns into the hands of the people who are going to sing them. Probably send it by email or some other appropriate means. You also need to have your organist record the audio of them playing through the piece. So talk to your organist or your other musicians of whatever sort. You can have them record the audio on their phone or an iPad or some other device. iPhones and iPads, iOS devices come with voice memos. You could use that app. Or if you're on a different device, you could use something else. But these phones have really fantastic microphones in them these days. And it's going to do a good job recording for you. So have them set it up, record the audio, and what you're going to send to the people who are going to be singing is the hymn sheet and audio of the music that they're going to sing along with. To get a pair of headphones. They're going to put on their headphones and they're going to download that MP3 file on their computer so that they can play it. What that's going to do is make sure that the sound is only coming through here. It's not actually playing into the room. So as they listen to the accompaniment, they've got their headphones in, they hear it only in their ears, and while they hear it in their ears on a second device, they're going to open up the Voice Memos app and they're going to hit play and they're going to sing. So they've got 3 things going on right there. They've got their headphones listening to the music, they've got the hymn sheet in front of them and they're singing along with it, and they've got their phone sitting there recording the whole thing. They can sing through multiple times that way. You could have them sing the melody. You could have them sing it again in a second file and sing some alto or sing some bass or some other parts. You could even have people sing the melody multiple times, just different times, because that will also blend together nicely with your choir. You might give them 1 hymn, you might give them 2, maybe 3 for a week. And so they'll do the same thing for each one. Put in their headphones, play the music on their first device, sing on their hymn sheet while they're recording into their phone or iPad or other secondary device. Once they've done all of that, they're going to send you the files that had been recorded of their singing. And they can probably do that right from there. They can send it, hit the share button and send it straight from their phone or from their iPad, attach it to an email, whatever is necessary. Our devices make it pretty easy these days to share. And they're going to send those straight back to you. So what you begin to receive in your email is the audio files of all of your people who've sung along with the same accompaniment. Here's Audacity. Let me give you a quick overview of Audacity. So here we've got our play button. Here we have our zoom in and out. There's a magnifying glass in and out. And here we have a selector, which is what we're using right now. These things will make a little more sense. Let's start by moving in our organ music. It's processing. There we go. So now you can begin to see that we can zoom in to see really close parts of the music here, or we can zoom out. Also, if we wanted to, we could hit play and we could start to listen to the piece. Will you hear it? That should work. Okay, and this is our selector so that we can select certain parts of the sound to do something with, those three parts. Let's add in some of our singers too, because they've sent us the pieces this week for 347. Here's Mary, Jim, Forsyth, and Terry. I'm going to drag all those in. That might work for you. If the dragging doesn't work for you, then what you would do on your computer is go here to File, and then Import, and that's where you would find the pieces that everyone had sent to you on email, and you would import the pieces in that way. So let's see, we've got our organ here in the top row. Looks like Forsyth has come in, Jim. Here's Mary's music, and here's Terry's. Okay, so I've scrolled up to the top, and here again, so this is our organ, and this is the name of the file. Here's Forsyth. I can select that one. Here's his singing. The reason the waveform is small is because it was a little quieter when he recorded. We'll take care of that. Notice how for the organ and for Forsyth, there's just one waveform. Here, as we scroll for Jim, you can see that there's two. Why is that? That's because Jim used a stereo device, and so it's recording left and right. So in Audacity, we've got both the left and the right. The other people used a device that only recorded in mono, and that's going to be fine either way for our sound. But that's the reason that his has two lines there. And we can see for Mary here, and for Terry just below her, each of them used something that had stereo as well. Now, there's two things we need to do to every single audio file in order to get it ready for us to work. And let me lay those out for you real clearly. First thing we need to do is get rid of background noise in the people's rooms. Somebody's got their air conditioning on, someone's got a fan, someone, there might just be a hum in their house from something somewhere that's might be running. Those background sounds need to be removed, or else they're going to overlap each other and it's going to really kind of mess up what we're listening for. And there's a way to do that in Audacity. What we're going to do is we're going to look for a quiet part, what should be quiet in the recording, either at the beginning or the end. We're going to highlight it. Audacity is going to learn what the background sound is, and then we're going to pick the whole track and tell Audacity remove background noise, and it's going to do it for us. Don't worry, I'll take you through it. We need to do that for each one of the tracks, remove the background noise. The second thing we need to do for each track is we need to get all the volumes the same. Some people were far from their mic, some people were close, some people's settings were different. We need to make it sound like everybody's singing at roughly the same volume. We can change it a little as we're mixing at the very end, but first we need all the sounds to basically be coming at us in the same way. So let's do that with each of our audio files here, and we'll do it a bunch of times so that you've seen it. By the time this video is over, you'll know exactly how to do those two things. Noise reduction and normalizing the volume. So here we go. I'm going to, since we need to grab this quiet part here, and it's hard to grab right here, so I'm going to zoom in a couple times and then scroll over to the beginning. And now, because we zoomed in, it's much easier to find these spots that should be quiet. So here with our organ, I'm going to highlight a part that looks pretty quiet. I'm going to go up here to Effect, Noise Reduction, Get Noise Profile. Now it's just learned it. I'm going to hit Select to select the entire track. Watch, it'll all turn light colored. And now again, Effect, Noise Reduction, OK. Now you'll see here it's applying it, and if you look very closely at the waveform, it'll adjust just a little bit, and that was the background sound being removed. Let's do it again here to the Forsyth track. Again, don't pick a part that has these high parts in it. Those are clicks and bangs that were in their room. We don't want that. That's going to mess it up. What we want is something that should be quiet. Effect, Noise Reduction, Get Noise Profile, select the whole track, Effect, Noise Reduction, OK. I'm going to do that one more time at that speed here for Jim. Here's Jim. Notice Jim on the right side, the fan was a little louder on that side than the left, and you can see because this is a bit bolder. Again, grab a spot that should be quiet. Effect, noise reduction, get noise profile. Select the whole track. Effect, noise reduction, okay. Now this one's going to be dramatic. Watch, this whole thing will turn to a straight line, and you'll see the waveforms change a bit too as it applies it. Yep, there we go. Down here, this person had a bit more quiet. Watch, I'll zoom out so you can see what's going on there. They had a bit more quiet before they began recording. We're going to highlight it, effect, noise reduction, get noise profile, select, and now here's a shortcut. You could do effect, and sometimes right here, what you just did is already there. Effect, repeat, noise reduction, that will also apply it. You could also have done effect, noise reduction, okay. So let's just do one last one here with Terry for the noise reduction. Lastly, very quickly, noise reduction, get noise profile, select, effect, noise reduction, okay. And now all the noise reductions should be removed. Now, as a part of that, you remember those nicks and bangs I said don't highlight those? Well, those are still there. How can we erase those? This is a little bit of part of getting the track ready, getting the background noise gone. I'll show you how to do that as well. Scroll back up here, and look, here's a kind of a bang or a click in the background. Maybe I can get it a little bigger. Well, it doesn't get much bigger, but you can see those little spots. Up here under Edit, Remove Special, Silence. This is telling me that on my keyboard, Control L will let me do that. So remember here, it's Edit, Remove Special, Silence Audio. I'm going to highlight that and do that right here, Remove Special, Silence Audio. And notice right there, it got it away. Here again, this is a great big breath at the beginning. I'm going to highlight that all the way to the beginning. Edit, Remove Special, Silence Audio. And see how it just gets rid of those. Here again, the organ, there's a click here at the beginning, and for Foresight, there's some spots here. Just going to highlight those all the way to the beginning. Edit, Remove Special, Silence Audio. And if you want to use that key thing to make it a little faster for you, you can do that on your keyboard as well. Silence Audio. See, we got rid of that there. Any down here? Good. Now what we also want to do is to do that silence audio at the end. So let's look here at the end, and you can see how it gets really big here at the end. Remember, this is technical. We're getting the files ready. So I'm just going to highlight that. And I'm going to do it on my keyboard now because I memorized, it said Edit, Remove Special. It's Command L. So on my keyboard, I'm just going to highlight it, Command L, and it does the same thing. Down here, we'll go to the end. Here's some clicks. Command L. That one looks okay. And so now we remove the background audio, the background sound, the background noise from everybody's track. Both fans and everything like that, and any nicks and bangs, we've silenced all of those, so all we've got now is their singing. The second thing we need to do after removing the background sound is we need to normalize the audio. Get the people who sang all along quietly to have it be louder, and people who sang all along louder to have it be quietly. This is called normalizing, and we're going to go to Effect, Normalize, and it's going to read it, and then the quiet ones will get big. If there's some that are way too big, these will also become a little bit smaller. Let's take a look. We'll do it with each of them. So, select, Effect, Normalize. Okay. There we go. That was our organ. So it got, they're all going to be roughly that size now. So this one that's very small will get very big. Effect, Normalize. Okay. There we go. And select, Effect, Normalize. Okay. That one shrunk just a little. And here we go, Effect, Normalize. Okay. That one's going to grow a little. Yep. And this one will get a little bit bigger too. Remember, I select, right here, I select it to select the whole track. Effect, Normalize. Okay. It reads it, sets it up. Oh, look. See these little nicks here? I missed those before. I'm going to highlight those, edit, remove special, silence audio. Silenced it right there. Good. And this person has a few at the end as well. How did I miss that? Edit, silence audio. Good. So now we've got rid of the background noise and we've got everybody's volume to be roughly the same. Those are the background things necessary to get each track ready to be mixed together. So I'm going to stop this step right here. Where are we? Step 5. Getting the background noise gone and the volume is normalized. In part 6, we're going to look at moving all the pieces so everybody's singing at exactly the same time. We're going to look at changing the volumes just a little bit and even creating a wider sound space for the choral sound. We'll start to listen to them all together. So let's go ahead and get started here for part 6. The first thing you're going to want to do is to make your screen as big as, make the Audacity screen as big as the screen of your computer. We're going to want all this real estate so we could see left and right. We also want to see all of these audio tracks without having to scroll. So let's do that by hitting View, Track Size, Fit to Height. Okay, watch. View, Track Size, Fit to Height. And now we can see all of our tracks at the same time. Again, that was View, Track Size, Fit to Height. Now, with all the tracks there at the same size, we also want to just get our mixer board open and get the volumes in a roughly the right spot. So it's View, Mixer Board, and what I'm going to ask you to do is make the organ about -24, and then make all of your singers somewhere around -36. Do you see that? This is the volume up and down, how loud they are. And -36 is going to be about the right starting point for our singers, and -24 will be about the right starting point for our organ since we've normalized the audio. Okay, so we just did those 3 things. We put our screen as big as the screen of our computer. We did View, Track Size, Height to get them all in there so we can see them all. And we also opened the mixer board and adjusted the volumes, the singers, all down to -36. Now, notice how some people started singing right away and some people waited throughout the accompaniment. We're going to need to get all of these audio, everybody's singing into the same place. Now, how can we do that? To get everybody singing at the same time, one method is to have like your organist clap or something. And if they were to do that, you could have a clapping in the accompaniment. You could have people clap before they sing, and you could try to line up all the claps. Some people do this. It works great for them, apparently. That's not how I do it, but you might try it. What I usually do is I look for a word, a very obvious downbeat in the hymn that probably everybody's going to hit pretty cleanly. And I'm going to find that on the screen, and for each audio track, I'm going to line it up so everybody sings that word, that downbeat at the same time. And that seems to work best for me. So let's try that now. Here we have the organ and Terry, and we've got some other people that are off a little. So let's zoom in. I usually click 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to scroll back here to the beginning of the singing. And then I'm going to listen to Terry for a really obvious downbeat. So I'm going to click solo. Do you see here? It says mute and solo. If I click solo, I'll only hear the one person singing. So I'm going to click that. So I just hear her. I'm going to hit, when you click up here, it will immediately start to play. So I'm going to click right here, right before the singing.
Go forth for God, go.
Oh, that go sounds like that's going to work great. Go forth for God, go. Right here is I'm going to want everybody's goes to line up right with each other. And you know what? Just to make sure that we have this right, let's mute everybody except for Terry and the organ, and make sure that Terry and the organ are actually all lined up really nicely too. It works. All right. So the organ and Terry are lined up, and we've got this word go here where we want everyone to line. So now I'm going to click on this right here, which is what we're going to use to move our tracks left and right when we need to. And that's going to allow us to drag a track and look, see how I can change Forsyth? Let's unmute everybody. And here you can see that his words are very close. This must be go forth for God, go. And I want the goes to be the same. So I'm going to line this up so that Terry's go is right on top of Greg's go. And then I'm going to click and drag Jim so that his go, again, you can just see the waveforms all look about the same. Notice they didn't start at exactly the same place because that doesn't usually happen. But they did hit the downbeat. We're going to assume they hit the downbeat at the same place. And we're also going to move this one. Let's see. Go forth for God, go. And see how we did that? Now we've got all of these right here at the same spot. Now, since nobody's muted, if I click here, we should be able to hear it. Good. All right. So we've got them all lined up pretty well there. And now as we zoom out, you can see that they're all lining up pretty nicely. Do keep in mind that if people are singing alto or bass or something, there might be offbeat, so you're going to have to watch that. The easiest thing is just if everybody just starts recording, and then you can line them all up using a word or maybe the beginning of a verse or somewhere where everybody's sitting in the same spot. So we've got this all lined up. You can see that it stays pretty tight throughout. Oh my gosh, look, this is actually really helpful. Because these people started early, I actually lined up the second verse with the first verse. And so we actually need to pull those people over again. This is going to be helpful. For that reason, I should have moved them all to get them kind of close from the beginning. See, there we are. The beginning's all kind of close. Now let's zoom in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Scroll back here to the start. And there we go. Go forth for God, go. Because I got them close, I can line this up. Here's our go. And there's all of our goes, all lined up. Let's listen to it again. Why does Terry sound louder? Because we moved her up to 24. So again, we'll move that back down to 36. I'm going to leave some of the mess in there so you can sort of see that you need to play with it a little bit to get it right. But what we've done now is we've gotten the screen set up. We can see everybody. We've lined everybody up on a word. We've gotten the volumes all pretty good. And it's now time to do some of the mixing so that we can create kind of a nice background that will sound good. What can be fun at this point is to mute the organ and then to hit play and you get a nice a cappella. I'm going to export that a cappella and I'm going to add some reverberation to it. What I've noticed is if I just add reverb to everybody's audio track, they all get really muddy and you can't hear them very crisply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export that choir sound of just the a cappella voices, export that so we have one track that's just all the voices singing together, just listening to it a cappella. I'm going to drag that back in and add some reverb to it, and that's going to be in the background behind all of the clean voices. Let's do that right now. So I've got my organ is muted. I'm going to do File, Export. I'll export this as an MP3, and I'm going to call it 347 to mix. All right. Save. It's now going to export just the audio of everybody singing together at the same time. I'm going to look here. 347 to mix. There it is. It just popped up. And now I'm going to import that back in. And now this track right here is everybody singing together, even though we see it above. If I click solo and then we play, you can hear them singing together. Now here is where I'm going to select that track, add effect, reverb. I'm going to jack the reverb up to 100 and hit OK. And once that reverb's worked, I'm going to normalize the track, because you always want to normalize to get the volumes pretty close to each other. Now listen to just that track by itself. Go forth, our God, go to the world in peace. Sounds a little bit like they're singing in a well, doesn't it? If you wanted to, you could even reverb it a second time and give it lots of ambiance. And now we'll listen to it again. Go forth, our God, go to the world in peace. You can hear the difference there. You can definitely tell that they are, it's created a sound, but because I exported them and brought them in as one track and reverbed it, it's really melting them together nicely. A second thing you could do if you wanted to is called delay. And delay actually creates something that actually sounds like an echo, like a really clean echo, like off a back wall or something. And that, again, it would just be effects delay. You could try that on your own. But we're just going to wrap this up by now taking this track that we just did, taking it off of solo and mixing it in. So we're going to take that echo track and maybe put that around 30 or 24. And then let's listen. Now there's a few last things we can do to really tweak this. And one would be to change the volume of specific people. If you know about choirs, you may know certain voices sound louder. They're maybe just more piercing. Even if the actual volume is the same as others, you just hear them more clearly. We may want to turn those down. We can also take certain voices and put them to the left or the right ear. So let's just end by doing that together. And we're going to do that with the mixer view. Here in the mixer view, these double lines are showing us what the peak volume was. And the LR is telling us left and right. So let's just, to do something kind of fun, let's just start it playing. And our men's voices are blending away. So our men's voices are blending away. So let's take our women's voices and make those a little bit quieter. And we'll take our men's voices and leave those a little higher. And let's take and put the men a little bit, one man a little bit left, one of the men a little bit right. And let's also add reverb once to the organ. So we'll select the organ track. Select. You seeing what I'm seeing? It's not, there we go. Select. It's all nice and white and highlighted with yellow. Effect. Reverb. And let's see how all that sounds together. Now that's a pretty good product for 4 voices. Sounds great if each of those people had recorded multiple times. Even those 4 people we could have 8 voices or 12 or 16 voices. And if we had 8 or 10 people who were singing, maybe we could even have as many as 15 or 20 voices here that were all stacked together. You're going to do the same thing for them each time. Remove the background noise, normalize them together, line up everybody so that they're all singing at the same time, get their volumes to be about right. And you may even want to export something just a cappella of just their voices and then bring that back in and add some nice reverb to it, so that can be a reverb track that's mixing in behind. That is how you do it. I think I said 7 steps, but like the last step is just enjoy. Actually, the last step is export. So let's just add that in right here. Here we are for step 7. How do we get it out? We get it out just like we made that track before with just the voices, which is to say, making sure nobody's muted, making sure all of the audio is where we want it, okay? We're gonna go to File, Export, MP3, or whatever you prefer. We're going to call it 347. We did it. And save, okay. And now it's gonna mix down that file. And once you've got that file, that's it. You've got one file, which includes your organ, includes all of your singers, includes the reverberation, the sounds all just right. There are more advanced things you can do with Audacity, lots of other effects there. You might take a look if you want at what the limiter does, what the compressor does. There's an equalizer, so you could adjust bass or treble, but those are all a bit more advanced things. If you do what we've done here, you're gonna get a great product. It might take you an hour or two to pull them all together, but it really is worth it, especially for creating something for people to listen to and worship along with. Hope this helped. It's a Saturday morning. I've got some other things to do, so I'm gonna let you go, but I hope you enjoy it.